Okay, coming off a tough loss Saturday, I know our coaches and our players, we put it behind us. We're moving forward and getting ready for the Arkansas Razorbacks. You know, you look at Arkansas, first of all, their head coach, Chad Morris, he's a good friend of mine, but he's an excellent football coach. He's got a staff that is very talented, got some veteran guys, been in this league a long time. We got quite a few starters back on offense, they got quite a few starters back on defense. We expect them to improve. You know, I think back in 2013 when I first took over here, it took 3 or 4 games to kind of really get in a rhythm. So we expect to get their best. We're focused on getting better. Obviously Saturday we didn't play our best, and that's my responsibility, and we will improve throughout the season. Questions?
Gus, I couldn't help but notice Nick Brahms was on the sideline snapping the football quite a bit. Chip Lindsey said last night he expects maybe potentially some changes along the offensive line. How hard are you looking at this week?
Yeah, Nick will get an opportunity. He's been competing, you know, and since he's been healthy the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's gotten quite a few reps with the ones even during practice, and so that's a continued battle between those two guys. And I know he was ready if called upon on Saturday, and he'll get an opportunity to compete this week in practice too.
What about elsewhere on the offensive line? You guys looking at potentially?
No, I think we had a couple guys that were banged up that I really thought showed some toughness and really played pretty well. And they weren't 100%, and they made it through okay. So I think all the other positions, I think we're pretty solid going into this week.
You said for a long time that you run to set up the pass. Would you consider reversing that a little bit and passing to set up the run if you feel like that?
I think each team's a little bit different, and and so we've always ran to set the pass, like you're saying, and that could be vice versa on some games. And each game's different, and the personnel that you're playing against is different. So you could see a little bit of both this year.
But you could adapt that like for a season-long plan, though, right?
What's that?
You wouldn't just do that for game after game.
Well, I think as a coach, you do whatever gives yourself the best chance of winning. Traditionally, like we've talked before, I mean, to have a chance to win a championship in this league, you have to run the football effectively. And, I think that'll still hold true.
Got y'all did in tempo, throwing the ball in tempo, I guess late in the second quarter, early third quarter, which, and maybe I missed it, but I had it. Most of the time, the same thing, you go tempo, you run the ball. Was that something different, and will that carry on ball?
You talking about when we were pacing, throwing the football? Yeah, Chip likes to do that. He did some last year too, and he did some the first couple games too. And it's like anything else. I think you got to be balanced in every part of your offense, even if it's pace. And he just really wanted to give our guys some opportunities down the field during pace last week.
Because those first down plays, a lot of second long, third and long situations. Is that more about the execution, or is there some things you can do?
I think it's all the above, but probably really one of the big factors in the game, like you just said, it was a lot of third down and 7+. When you're going against a good defense, those are tough to continually convert, and we've got to do a better job of getting in that third down and medium area instead of the third and long. And so that was a big factor in the game.
Because when you have an offensive line that is struggling, so does tempo actually help them?
I think so. I think tempo can help you, but I will say this too. I mean, I think we got to be real with ourselves that I think coming into this season we had 16 or 17 starts between everybody up front. Okay, so and we played 2, what I'd say, really good defenses so far, and so that group will continually improve. They're getting used to working together, and you'll see that group improve. So, I'm encouraged moving forward with that group.
Gus, Jared Stidham, what do you think he needs to do a little bit better to sort of get going, to sort of get back to how he was during that good stretch he had last year?
Yeah, and I think he will. I mean, he'd like to have a couple of those plays back, but Jared, we have a lot of confidence in him. He'll rebound. He's going to play extremely well. He's one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football, and so he's our guy, and he'll continue to work hard and practice to improve and get better at the things that he feels that we feel like he needs to get better, and he feels like he needs to get better.
Chip said on Sunday that you guys like to ride the hot hand at running back. Do you anticipate Booby getting the start this week?
You know, we're not ready to say that. I mean, Cam Martin, Booby, you know, Worm, all three of those guys, you know, they're all competing, and you know, Asa Martin, you know, I think, like I said before, I think you could see his role increase too. But you know, Chip's exactly right. You know, you go into a game, if somebody gets hot, I mean, we stay with them. And you know, Booby was breaking tackles, and you know, he's still learning too. And you know, those freshman running backs, the three that I was talking about. I mean, every snap in game snaps, they're getting better, and they're understanding the blocking scheme, whether it's a gap scheme, whether it's a zone scheme. You even saw Booby starting to slow down, which we've been trying to get him to slow down and read it and all that. And so, you know, we're still in the early stages of our run game, and that's kind of what I said with the offensive line and with the running backs. I'm confident we're going to get better, you know, just with the more experience that group has.
With Eli Stove and Will Hastings working them back into it, are you going to continue to do that, or is redshirting still a possibility?
You know, at this point right now, you know, our plan was to slowly work those guys back in to see how much confidence they have and how effective they could be. And so that was really the plan last week, and it'll be continued to go through that. And we're always going to do what's best for the individual as far as that goes. But you know, I thought both of them got a chance to go get in there and do some things against a quality opponent.
So you're not ruling out the possibility?
Yeah, I don't think, no. But I mean, we'll be aware of it if we need to. But just trying to let those guys come along and get confidence and get back to playing. And I thought both of them did good things.
Gus, y'all had 66 snaps on
Yeah.
offense against LSU.
That wasn't enough, and you know, that wasn't enough. And you know, we're at our best when we have 70, 75 plus snaps, and we got sustained drives. Probably the big thing was the third downs, like you just talked about just a little bit ago. The third and longs, and against good teams, it's hard to convert those. And so we're aware of that, and we'll work hard to correct that and get a little more third and mediums.
Gus, I know this is only 3 games this season. This is one of your more penalized teams, offensively, defensively. You're last in the SEC, near the bottom nationally. Can you pinpoint what you can do and how to correct it?
Well, I mean, right now we're an undisciplined team as far as penalties concerned, and that disappoints me. But here's the deal: that starts with me and it ends with me. And I think I said this 2 weeks ago. You know, we've always taken great pride in being a disciplined team in that area. And so really, you know, we've got to coach them better, and we're going to do that. And we're aware of it, and we're addressing it.
Have you done anything in practice extra or different the last couple of weeks to try to address that?
Yeah, we have, but obviously it didn't carry over. So as a coach, you got to figure out the next step to do, and we got a good plan, you know, for that. And there's no doubt in my mind we'll get back to playing good, disciplined Auburn football like we know we can, like we have in the past.
Gus, how tough is it in the secondary when you know you got to walk that fine line? You got to play physical, attack the ball, but yet you put your hands on a guy and you know it could be a penalty. How tough is that line to walk?
I mean, you gotta use your technique. You gotta see how the game's being called, and that's what you gotta do.
When you come into this week, and a lot of people like point to 2013 last year, the LSU game being a turning point. How do you make the most out of the game last Saturday?
Yeah, well, what you got to do from a loss, you got to learn from it. And first of all, it starts with the coach, the head coach, and the coaching staff. And we have to first of all learn from it. And then the players just, the same way. Like you learn from it, you see what we need to improve on, you see what we need to do better. You put that in your back pocket, and you move on to the next game. Our team, we have a lot of experienced guys that has experience doing just that, and there's no doubt in my mind that we'll rebound. It's a bump in the road, and we still have a good team, and we've got good coaches. We just got to put it all together and improve each week, and I really feel like we will.
I know as a coach, you have to take it one game at a time. But you said in the past, this is a man's schedule, toughest in the nation.
Yeah.
One of the toughest probably in Auburn history. We
Right.
have a lot of tough road games. And to lose one at home against an opponent that's going to be in the mix,
Yeah.
at least here early,
Yeah.
Is it a bigger uphill climb this season?
Well,
compared to
well, I
last?
think, you just said it, one game at a time. I think because of everything you just said, with the schedule, the road games, you for sure have to take it one game at a time. And to cross that bridge when that next thing is. So, we got Arkansas. We got Arkansas that their backs are against the wall. Like I said, they're a team with a new staff, and they're going to improve each week. There's no doubt we're going to get their best. We got to worry about them. And that's all we're worried about. And then after that, we'll worry about the next one. And, at the first of the season, from a head coach's standpoint, you get up in front of your team and you give them the plan for the whole year. And you got to be aware of what you're going to go through. And like I said before, at least we went through it last year and we know what it feels like, know what it looks like. But then you got to flip the switch. And you just got to take it one game at a time. You got to have tunnel vision. You can't worry about last week. You can't worry about the next week. You can't worry about how good this team's playing or that team. You better worry about that. So that's the simple answer to it. And that is easier said than done. A lot of teams can't do that, but that's our challenge, and that's what we're going to do.
Do you feel like you have any breathing room? Do you?
You never know how things go. All you can do is control what you control, and so one game at a time. And my experience is the teams that are playing their best ball the second half of the season, that's the teams that have a chance. And we've kind of been set up that way, and I think we can do that again. But we got to take it one game at a time.
Is it fair to say Chad's one of your best friends in the business?
Yes, no doubt.
When did you first meet him?
Chad, of course, I knew about him. He was very successful, Texas high school coach in Stephenville, Texas, where Art Briles was from. That's kind of a legendary deal. And we were playing a state championship game, and he called me out of the blue and asked if he could bring his staff and stand on the sideline. And I was a little bit leery, but I said, yeah. And after the game, he said, hey, can we bring the staff up and talk football? And so we did that for, I think, 2 days. And the next year he came back, and we just developed that relationship. And, I always knew he had something special about him. He's a great person. He's one of the good guys in our business, but he's one of the best coaches I've ever been around. And so we just kind of developed that relationship. And, he went and followed, didn't follow me at Tulsa, but 2 years later, with the guys that I was familiar with, he took over, and they were top 10 in the offense. And then he's really, you look at Clemson now and you look back at when everything really changed for them. It's when they hired Chad Morris. And he got the offense going, recruited Deshaun Watson, and look at him now. So, he went to SMU, and it was low, and he got him out of it, and he'll do the same thing there.
From the outside looking in, but your lives have been pretty intertwined. After he visited you, he went 75-6 in Texas. And launched him into college, and you mentioned everything else. I know you don't want to talk about it, but Arkansas was interested in you, and then they went and hired your buddy Chad. What were the conversations like with Chad? Did he talk to you when he was, even after he got the job there, about the challenges of being a head coach?
He's one of my buddies. I mean, the challenge we have now is, we're in the same conference, and in the past we've shared ideas. He's helped me too. I mean, and so. But now he's in the competition, and we both understand that. And he's a great competitor, and we'll compete. And after the game, we'll shake hands. Everything will be great. So that's really about it.
Your wife's still pretty close?
Yes, they are.
This is the first time you and him will be going head to head as head coaches. Have you given that any consideration, just given how well you guys know?
No, I mean, hey, and I know he's the same way. He's got a team to coach. I got a team to coach, and you do everything you can to help your team win. I mean, we win against each other when we were coordinators, at Clemson and here. So.
You ever try to schedule a game with him in high school?
No, I don't think so.
So he was a stranger to you, and you let him sit on your sideline for a
He
championship?
stood on the sideline, kind of down outside the line.
Okay.
And I was glancing down there.
Gus, have you talked to Kevin about the pass rush? I know LSU was a max protector,
Yeah.
but y'all were unable to get much pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, and that's really a goal of ours, put more pressure on the quarterback. And obviously when you do that, it helps the secondary out too. So our guys understand that. And Kevin's one of the best in the business, and he knows the answers, and I have a lot of confidence we'll get better at the pass rush.
Gus, when a team gets beat like Arkansas did last week, and obviously they had 6 turnovers and crazy punt return and all those things, does it concern you a little bit when you're playing them next that your players understand that that's probably not who they are?
No, I think we've got a veteran enough team to understand that in our conference, in this league, it doesn't matter what happened in the past, you're gonna get the group's best. And then I think too, coming off a tough loss also helps with that kind of deal. I mean, we're expecting their best. We need to play well. Our players understand that and our coaches understand that, so I'm not concerned at all in that area.
Are you pleased with your receivers, and might we see more Seth Williams, considering just how he caught some things in training?
Yeah, I mean, you see Flash, Seth Williams. I mean, you see a lot of young guys out there, and I think that group, they're talented. Like I've said before, I think each game you could see their roles grow. We got a bunch of young guys. I mean, I think we got to keep that in perspective too. We got a bunch of young guys touching the ball on offense, and we got a new offensive line coming together. So I really feel strong that we'll improve on the offensive side.
Gus, what's it say about those two guys, especially in Flash and Seth? That, I mean, you're playing LSU week 3, true freshman. I think Seth almost has 40 snaps in that game. What's it say about those guys and the trust level?
Well, first of all, they've earned it. Anybody on the field has earned the right to be on the field through practice, and you find out a whole lot about players on the field. I think I said that a couple of weeks ago. That's when you really find out about guys. And, I don't think the moment's too big for either one of those guys, and I think both of them are coachable. Both of them are very talented and want to compete.
Gus, could you just, Seth, talk about how you go to Tuscaloosa and get Seth here?
What's that?
How you were able to go to Tuscaloosa and get Seth?
Yeah, Coach Burns just identified him as a guy that he felt had a chance to be a really special player. Knew he was a great basketball player too, and he's a great kid. And so Cody did a super job recruiting him, and he's got a chance. He's got a chance to really be a very good player.
Anything else? I have one more question.
Okay.
Explosive plays, you haven't had any of them. Is that an issue that needs to be?
There's no doubt. We I think we only had one play over 30 yards the other day. I think we had one that was 28, one was 20 something. But when we're at our best, we have more explosive plays, and that's something that we'll be working hard to do. And like I said, that, and then being able to run the football effectively, which, like I've said earlier, I really feel strong that you'll see this team grow in the running game. And so, those are really the two things,
Those two things kind of go together.
They go together.
Run the ball.
You're exactly right. Because when you're able to run the ball, it changes things and opens up more explosive opportunities. And then you get a couple vice versa the other way.
All right, Coach.
Okay.